They told me the highways are loneliest after 2 in the morning. They lied. The highways aren't lonely, they're waiting. Every night I start my shift in the patrol truck, engine humming, headlights slicing through the dark like 2 nervous eyes. The radio crackles, the scanner whispers static, and beyond the asphalt stretches an ocean of black silence. My job is simple: check for wrecks, help stranded travelers, report accidents. But lately, the calls have been wrong. It began last Thursday. The scanner caught a faint voice, warped, distant, almost human. "Help me!" Static swallowed the rest. "Dispatch didn't hear it, said it was interference, but I heard it again the next night, then again, same time. Same stretch of road between mile markers 70 and 71. Tonight, I'm heading there. The air outside feels heavier than usual, like the dark itself has weight. My breath fogs up the window, though, the heater's on full blast. Asphalt hums under my tires, lines flashing by like a heartbeat. At 71, I slow down. The scanner buzzes again. Then I hear it. Clearer now. A voice, female, trembling. "Don't let it through." My stomach drops. "Who is this?" I say into the mic. Nothing, just a soft, wet static like rain hitting skin. I pull over. The headlights catch a shimmer on the asphalt, something glistening. Oil? Blood? I step out, flashlight trembling in my hand. The air smells metallic, charged, like before a storm. And then I see it. The road ahead isn't empty. The asphalt seems to ripple like heat waves, except it's 30 degrees out. A thin crack snakes across the lane, pulsing faintly with a dull red glow. The radio shrieks suddenly, loud and distorted, 1,000 voices screaming in unison, "It's coming!" I stumble back toward the truck, nearly dropping the flashlight. My heart slams against my ribs as the glowing crack spreads wider. The air around me vibrates, bending, groaning like the earth itself is being torn open. Then, silence. The glow vanishes. The radio dies. I'm left standing in the cold, staring at a perfectly normal stretch of highway, but my phone clock flickers. 2 o'clock, and a new crack appears, this time beneath my feet. When the crack split open beneath me, the air changed. It wasn't a sound, more like a feeling, a low vibration that crawled through my bones. I staggered back, flashlight beam shaking across the blacktop. The line in the road was glowing again, red this time, the same color as burning metal. The smell hit next. Scorched earth and something else, sweet and foul like rotting fruit left in a furnace. My eyes watered. I wanted to run, but my legs wouldn't listen. The light inside the crack pulsed, brighter, faster, as if something below was breathing. I crouched closer. The ground was warm. Not like a machine or engine, more like skin. And when I touched the edge of the fissure, it moved. I jerked back, heart slamming. The crack widened an inch, then 2. Asphalt flaked away like dead flesh. For a moment, I thought I saw an eye, a slick, glassy sphere reflecting my flashlight, staring up from the darkness below. Then it blinked. I bolted for the truck. My boots slapped the pavement. I could feel the hum of the highway shift under me, the vibration turning into a faint rhythmic thud, a heartbeat. The road itself was alive. Once inside the cab, I slammed the door and hit the ignition. The engine coughed, then died. Every warning light on the dashboard flickered red. The scanner came to life again. That same woman's voice, broken by static. "You can't stop it." "Don't let it see you." "Who are you?" I yelled. My voice sounded small against the roaring static. "What's coming?" No answer. Just one word repeated faintly. "Beneath." I looked out through the windshield. The highway was empty. The glow had faded, leaving only darkness, but the asphalt had changed. Cracks stretched in both directions like veins, faintly pulsing with light beneath the surface. Miles of living road. Something thudded beneath the truck. Metal groaned. The vehicle shifted, rising an inch. I froze. Another thud, harder this time, like a fist against steel. I didn't breathe, didn't move. Then, from under the truck, a slow scraping sound, claws dragging across metal. A whisper followed, muffled but close. "It knows you now." The voice was my own. I didn't move for what felt like hours. The only sound was the tick of the cooling engine and the faint hiss of my own breathing. When I finally dared to look in the rearview mirror, the road behind me wasn't empty anymore. Something was standing in the middle of the highway. It was tall, far too tall, its limbs too long, bent wrong, as if its bones had learned a different geometry. My headlights didn't catch its face. The light just bent around it, like the darkness itself was thicker there. For a moment, it didn't move. Then it tilted its head, slow and deliberate, as if listening. The radio whispered again, the same broken female voice. "Don't look at it too long." I blinked, and the figure was suddenly closer, 10 yards, maybe less. I couldn't have looked away even if I wanted to. Every part of me screamed to drive, to escape, but my body refused. The figure twitched once, a jerk so fast it looked like a skipped frame in a film, and then it was right beside my window. My throat locked. The window fogged instantly, and in that fog a handprint formed, long fingers ending in sharp points, pressing hard enough to make the glass groan. The smell returned, heavy and metallic. I gagged. The scanner flared with static again. "It's testing the surface," the voice said. "The cracks weaken the veil! You mustn't let it through!" The thing outside turned its head toward the radio. For a second I thought I saw the hint of a face beneath the dark. Not eyes, not a mouth, but shapes trying to imitate them. Something learning. That broke me. I jammed the truck into gear, tires screaming as I tore down the highway. My headlights caught nothing but endless black and the flashing yellow lines that blurred like a pulse. The scanner hissed and popped, a single word repeating through the static. "Run!" In the mirror, the highway behind me was cracking open again, glowing faintly red as something vast shifted beneath the asphalt. And over it all, faint but clear, came my own voice whispering through the speakers. "You can't run forever." I drove until my knuckles turned white on the steering wheel. The night outside stretched endlessly, the same repeating signs, the same crooked mile markers flickering in my headlights like a broken film reel. I should have hit the town by now, but every exit sign pointed to nowhere. The GPS spun uselessly, showing me driving in circles through a blank void. It felt alive, looping me inside it like a trap. The air inside the truck grew stifling. My breath came in short bursts. I rolled down the window for air, and that's when I heard it again, a deep, rhythmic sound coming from the pavement beneath my tires. Not the hum of rubber on asphalt. A breath, slow, drawn out like something enormous, exhaling through the cracks in the earth. I pressed harder on the gas. The sound followed. The dashboard lights flickered, and the truck lurched as if the road beneath me had shifted. My stomach twisted. I looked out the window. The lines on the asphalt were no longer straight. They were curving, spiraling into shapes that looked like veins. Red light pulsed faintly beneath the surface, spreading across the lane ahead. I slammed the brakes. The scanner crackled again. This time the voice was clearer, but different, deeper, older. "You shouldn't have touched it." I froze. "Who are you?" I whispered. "Once I was like you," it said. "Now I'm part of it." The radio hissed violently. The smell of burning tar filled the cab. I looked down. The floor was trembling, fine cracks spreading outward from beneath the pedals. A red glow seeped through like veins under skin. I opened the door and stumbled onto the road. The asphalt felt warm, pulsing gently under my boots. A low groan rolled through the night, and the cracks around me widened, curling outward in strange organic patterns. The highway was breathing, and it was hungry. Something shifted beneath the surface, rising closer, scraping against the underside of reality. I heard voices whispering my name in dozens of different tones, all mine. Then the ground convulsed once, violently, and everything went dark. When I opened my eyes, the world was wrong. I was still in my truck, but the engine was silent and the dashboard was dark. The air felt thick, heavy, like breathing through wet cloth. My flashlight lay on the passenger seat, flickering weakly, throwing pale circles of light around the cab. Outside, the highway was gone. Where there should have been asphalt and faded yellow lines, there was something else. A smooth, black surface that looked like glass but shifted like liquid when I stared too long. The horizon was swallowed by mist. No sky, no stars, no wind, just an endless gray void. I opened the door and stepped out. My boots sank half an inch into the road, which rippled faintly like disturbed water. I could hear faint whispers rising from beneath it, like people talking just out of earshot. "Hello?" My voice sounded flat, muffled. The whisper stopped. Something answered, not a voice, but a feeling that crawled into my head. It wasn't words, it was hunger. I staggered back toward the truck, heart racing. I tried the radio again, desperate for sound, for proof that the world still existed. The scanner clicked on by itself. Static bled through, followed by a soft, familiar whisper. "You crossed over," said the woman's voice, the same one that had warned me before. "It noticed you." I gripped the mic. "Where am I?" "Between," she said. "Where the road breathes and the world ends." The ground shuddered. A faint red glow began to seep through the black surface, outlining cracks beneath my feet. From the mist ahead, shapes started moving, tall, thin silhouettes, dozens of them swaying as they approached. My flashlight flickered once, then died. The only light left was the pulse beneath the ground, beating faster in time with my heart. The silhouette stopped 20 feet away. their heads tilted in unison. One of them, taller than the rest, took a step forward, its face smooth and featureless, except for a mouth that began to split open across its skin. Inside the mouth, I saw light, not teeth, a burning red light that pulsed once, and every whisper in the mist screamed my name. They surrounded me, silent and swaying, their movements too smooth, too synchronized. The mist thickened, folding around us until even the truck vanished from sight. I could feel their attention like heat on my skin, curious, patient, hungry. The tallest one stepped closer. Its mouth, that slit of pulsing red, widened slightly, light spilling onto the black ground. When it spoke, the sound didn't come from its lips, but from inside my skull. "You touched the fault," it said in a dozen overlapping tones. "The road remembers." "I don't understand," I whispered. My voice felt tiny here, like sound didn't belong. It tilted its head, almost mimicking confusion. "This place was sealed. You opened it." "You brought us breath." The others began to murmur, faint rhythmic sounds that pulsed in time with the glow beneath the surface. I realized they weren't speaking. They were chanting. Each vibration sent a tremor through the air, bending it like heat. I turned to run, but the ground rippled, hardening under my feet, pinning me in place. The whispering grew louder. Images flashed in my head. Highways twisting into endless knots, cities sinking beneath glowing roads, faces screaming from cracks in the asphalt. "Stop!" I shouted, pressing my hands against my temples. "Stop it!" The tall figure leaned close until its smooth face hovered inches from mine. The red light behind its mouth flared brighter, and I smelled burned metal again. "You work the highways," it whispered. "You keep them open. That is your purpose." "I just patrol," I said, trembling. "I fix what's broken." It smiled without lips. "Exactly." Then its hand, long, black, fingerless, pressed against my chest. The cold cut straight through me, deeper than bone. I saw something then, a glimpse beneath the world. Rivers of glowing cracks running through earth and time like veins, all connected, and something vast moving inside them trying to surface. When the figure pulled away, my lungs burned. I collapsed to my knees, gasping, as the light beneath the ground began to dim. The silhouette started to fade back into the mist. The tall one lingered just long enough to whisper one final thing. "Now it knows the way." When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the highway, or something that looked like it. My truck sat idling in the breakdown lane, headlights cutting through fog that hadn't been there before. My hands trembled on the steering wheel. My watch read 4:15, but the second hand was stuck, twitching back and forth like it couldn't decide which direction to move. I wanted to believe it had been a dream, but when I stepped out of the truck, I saw them. Thin, glowing cracks etched into the asphalt, snaking outward in every direction. They pulsed faintly with the same dull red light I'd seen between. The air was colder here, too still. No crickets, no wind, just silence and the distant hum of my idling engine. I called dispatch. Static answered. Then, faintly, a voice I didn't recognize whispered, "You brought it through." My stomach twisted. "Who is this?" I asked, but the line died with a soft click. When I turned, I noticed something moving along the cracks, a shimmer like heat rising off pavement. The red light flared, and for a split second I saw a shadow crawling under the road, its shape stretching, searching. I climbed back into the truck and floored the gas. The tires spun, throwing sparks. The engine roared, but it didn't feel right, like the gears were grinding against something alive. The headlights flickered, catching glimpses of faces in the fog, hundreds of them, pressed against the mist, watching me pass. The road itself was changing beneath my wheels, twisting and curving in ways that shouldn't exist. Every mile marker showed 71, over and over. Then the scanner came alive again, a chorus of overlapping voices, mine, the woman's, the tall creature's, whispering the same word, home. My chest went cold. I slammed the brakes, skidding sideways until the truck stopped inches from a guardrail. Beyond it stretched nothing, no trees, no fields, just a vast black void rippling like the surface of a deep lake, and in that dark water something moved. The glow from the cracks brightened, racing toward the truck like blood through veins. The highway wasn't finished with me yet. The glow reached the truck before I could move. It crawled up the tires, spidering through the metal like veins of molten light. The engine coughed once and died, the dashboard lights flickering out one by one until only that red pulse remained, thudding in rhythm with my heartbeat. I stumbled out, the heat from the truck stinging my face. The cracks in the highway were spreading faster now, splitting outward into the fog, reaching for the horizon. The air itself began to hum, low at first, then building into a deep vibration that made my teeth ache. The sky tore, not with thunder, but with a sound like glass under pressure. Thin red lines appeared above me, faint at first, then brightening, branching across the clouds. The same cracks that ran beneath my boots now streaked across the heavens. Something was coming through both sides at once. The scanner came alive again, spitting static and fragments of my own voice. It's breaching. Can't hold. Stop the roads. I grabbed the mic. Tell me how to stop it. No answer. Just a single word whispered from every direction at once. Seal! The ground convulsed, buckling in waves. A fissure split open down the center of the lane, and from its depths came a wet, dragging sound like something enormous pulling itself upward. I backed toward the guardrail. The mist parted ahead, and from the crack a hand emerged. Black, slick, too long, with glowing red lines tracing its veins. It gripped the edge of the road, pulling until half its arm was free. The air around it shimmered like heat, bending light and sound. The hand flexed once, and the cracks in the sky pulsed in response, as if they were connected, one vast, living network. I realized then that it wasn't trying to come through anymore. It already had. The wind picked up, howling through the fissures with the sound of countless voices crying in unison. The road trembled like a heartbeat gone mad. I looked down at my own hands and saw thin red lines glowing beneath my skin, spreading, pulsing, alive. It had marked me. The light beneath my skin pulsed faster, in time with the throbbing glow of the road. Every beat sent a dull ache through my veins, as if something else was pumping inside me, something not human. I clawed at my forearms, but the red lines only burned brighter, deeper, wrapping upward toward my shoulders like living threads. The whispering started again. Not from the radio this time, from inside my head, dozens of voices, layered and familiar. My voice, the woman's, the tall creature's, all saying the same thing. You opened the way. You are the way. I staggered backward, slamming into the side of the truck. My reflection in the window looked wrong. My eyes were faintly glowing, the same shade of crimson as the cracks. Behind me, the fissure still bled light, and that massive hand kept pulling. The arm was now halfway out, its texture shifting like smoke trapped inside glass. The sky's cracks widened, spilling rays of red across the clouds. The air buzzed with electricity. I could taste metal on my tongue. Seal it! It said to seal it. But how do you seal a world that's already bleeding? The voices laughed softly, echoing inside my skull. The woman's tone rose above the others, pleading this time. You have to give it back. It can't stay in you. Something was crawling beneath my ribs, pressing upward, fighting to get out. I screamed, clutching at my chest as the skin there began to glow, the light pulsing in frantic rhythm. The cracks on the ground mirrored it, flaring bright enough to blind me. The air shimmered, distorting like boiling water. I realized then the highway wasn't trying to consume me. It was trying to push something back through me. The ground split again, and I fell forward, hands scraping hot asphalt that flexed like muscle. I felt a pull, deep and hungry, dragging at the light beneath my skin. The last thing I heard before everything went white was the woman's voice whispering, "Let it go before it becomes you." I woke to the sound of thunder that wasn't thunder, a deep, grinding rumble that made the air vibrate inside my chest. The sky above was bleeding light, red veins tearing through the clouds like open wounds. The ground pulsed with it, every flash sinking to the rhythm pounding behind my eyes. I wasn't on the same highway anymore. The sign beside me read mile 71, but the letters kept twisting, melting into symbols that looked carved instead of printed. The air shimmered like heat over asphalt, though the cold bit into my skin. Something inside me was moving. Every breath came with pain, a scraping sensation deep under my ribs. My veins glowed faintly through my jacket. When I touched my chest, it felt hot, alive. The radio inside the truck flickered to life. My own voice spilled from the speakers, layered and broken. "It's merging. You can't stop it now." I stumbled back. "No," I whispered. "I won't let it." A figure appeared on the horizon, walking down the road toward me. For a moment, I thought it was the tall one again. But no, this one looked human. A woman in a torn, reflective vest, her face pale and strained. The voice that had haunted the radio. "You brought it across," she said. "Now you have to send it back." "Tell me how." She pointed to my chest. "It's inside the seal, inside you. It can only return if you cross back." The words barely made sense, but I understood enough. The highway wasn't just a place, it was the border itself. The light inside me surged, burning through my clothes. The air filled with a low hum as the ground split again, widening into a gaping crack that led down into nothing. Wind howled from below, pulling at my hair, my clothes, my soul. The woman reached out, pressing her palm to my chest. The touch was cold, grounding. "You could still close it," she whispered, "but you'll have to go with it." Before I could answer, the ground beneath us shattered completely, and the world fell inward, light, heat, and endless screaming darkness swallowing everything. I woke to the sound of thunder that wasn't thunder, a deep, grinding rumble that made the air vibrate inside my chest. The The sky above was bleeding light, red veins tearing through the clouds like open wounds. The ground pulsed with it, every flash sinking to the rhythm pounding behind my eyes. I wasn't on the same highway anymore. The sign beside me read mile 71, but the letters kept twisting, melting into symbols that looked carved instead of printed. The air shimmered like heat over asphalt, though the cold bit into my skin. Something inside me was moving. Every breath came with pain, a scraping sensation deep under my ribs. My veins glowed faintly through my jacket. When I touched my chest, it felt hot, alive. The radio inside the truck flickered to life. My own voice spilled from the speakers, layered and broken. "It's merging. You can't stop it now." I stumbled back. "No," I whispered. "I won't let it." A figure appeared on the horizon, walking down the road toward me. For a moment, I thought it was the tall one again. But no, this one looked human. A woman in a torn, reflective vest, her face pale and strained. The voice that had haunted the radio. "You brought it across," she said. "Now you have to send it back." "Tell me how." She pointed to my chest. "It's inside the seal, inside you. It can only return if you cross back." The words barely made sense, but I understood enough. The highway wasn't just a place, it was the border itself. The light inside me surged, burning through my clothes. The air filled with a low hum as the ground split again, widening into a gaping crack that led down into nothing. Wind howled from below, pulling at my hair, my clothes, my soul. The woman reached out, pressing her palm to my chest. The touch was cold, grounding. "You could still close it," she whispered. "But you'll have to go with it." Before I could answer, the ground beneath us shattered completely, and the world fell inward. Light, heat, and falling didn't feel like falling. It felt like being unmade. Every piece of me stretched and scattered through endless dark. There was no wind, no gravity, just motion that never ended. The red light that had devoured the sky pulsed all around, breathing like a living heart. Shapes drifted through it, fragments of road, pieces of cars, signs flickering with half-formed words. They spun slowly, caught in invisible currents like debris circling a drain. Somewhere among them I saw faces. Dozens, maybe hundreds, eyes wide, mouths open, suspended mid-scream. Then I landed. The impact made no sound. I was standing on a flat surface that shimmered like glass but bent slightly under my weight. Below it, I could see movement, vast shadows shifting through layers of red haze. The air smelled like hot metal and rain. "Welcome back," a voice said. The tall figure stepped out of the light. Its shape wavered, as if it were made of smoke and memory. "You carried the breach well. The boundary is thinner because of you." I backed away, but the ground rippled with every step. "You can't stay here," I said. My voice trembled. "You'll destroy everything." It tilted its head, amused. "We were born here. You're the intruder." "You're the intruder." Behind me, the woman's voice echoed faintly. "Seal it now." I pressed a hand to my chest. The light inside me throbbed, answering the rhythm beneath the surface. The thing's gaze followed the glow. "That power belongs to us," it whispered. "Give it back." The surface beneath my feet began to crack. Red light poured upward, wrapping around my body like fire. The creature lunged, its form stretching into a storm of claws and light, and instinct took over. I screamed, letting the pain tear through my throat. The light inside me exploded outward, blinding and white, cutting through the red like a flare in deep water. The ground convulsed, the shadows shrieked. For an instant I saw what lay below, an ocean of eyes, endless and waiting. Then everything imploded into silence. The creature's voice faded with the light. "You can't seal what you've become." And then there was nothing, only darkness breathing softly around me, nonless screaming darkness swallowing everything. When the darkness finally lifted, I was back on the highway, or at least something pretending to be it. The sky above was a dull gray, cracked faintly with red veins that pulsed like dying embers. My truck sat a few feet away, idling untouched. The world was still. Not silent, just holding its breath. I pushed myself up, every muscle burning, and staggered toward the cab. My reflection in the driver's window made me stop cold. My eyes glowed faintly, pulsing in rhythm with the cracks still crawling across the asphalt. The light inside me hadn't gone. I hadn't sealed anything. I'd only contained it. The radio clicked on, though I hadn't touched it. Static filled the cab, followed by her voice. Soft, tired, familiar. "You did it," she said. "The breach is closing." I wanted to believe her. I really did. But as I looked down the road, I saw the cracks stretching for miles, dimming but not gone. The ground was healing, slowly, unevenly, like a wound that might reopen at any second. "Will it stay closed?" I asked. There was a long pause. Then, as long as you do. My stomach turned. What does that mean? The static faded. I stepped into the truck, the seat creaking beneath me, and turned on the headlights. The beams swept across the empty stretch of highway, illuminating the fog, the faint shimmer of still settling dust. For a moment, it almost looked normal again. Almost. I shifted into drive. The tires rolled over the asphalt, and every rotation sent a faint red glow beneath them, like veins lighting up with each turn. I could feel the hum beneath me, the heartbeat, softer now, but still there. Something inside me pulsed in response. As the road stretched ahead, endless and gray, a realization settled cold in my chest. The highways didn't need to stay sealed. They just needed someone to keep them watched, someone to contain the thing that waits below. The scanner crackled one last time, and my own voice whispered through the static. Patrol active! Mile marker 71! Still holding.